This is TWiT.
Hey, what's up, Leo? Thank you so much for taking my call.
My pleasure.
And, so yes, as Kim was saying, I am starting a podcast, and I'm going to be running, I want to have 4 XLR mics. So originally I had bought a mixer, and I guess come to learn my other main goal is I want to have multiple audio channels when I edit. When I throw it in Pro Tools or Ableton, I want to have multiple channels. So do I need a mixer or an audio interface?
This is how it starts, and it gets out. It kind of spins out of control. You can do a podcast, with just your laptop and a microphone plugged into your laptop.
Well, I'm a total gadget guy. I'm all about sound. A photographer.
Yeah.
I might as well. I've been doing a ton of research, and I just, it's not too expensive comparatively to photography. I feel like I'm getting started for under $1,000.
Oh yeah, heck yes. So, what you do want as a mixer, what you'd like is something that will do individual channels. He mentioned he has XLR mics. That's the way most professional microphones connect. They look like Canon plugs, and they plug in. You can't plug them into your computer. So a lot of people do podcasting will get the USB microphones because you just plug those into the computer. But the problem with that is you can only do one microphone at a time. So if you want to do a podcast with more than one person, then you need multiple microphones. And if you're going to get multiple microphones, you're going to need a mixer. And as long as you're going to get a mixer, you might as well use professional microphones. They tend to be cheaper and better. You can get the Shure SM58, which is a $150 microphone that sounds great.
I was looking at the Audio Technica AT2040, I believe.
Yeah, that AT was designed, the 2020 was designed originally as a USB mic. And I would recommend, I don't like, it's a condenser mic.
Okay.
And I don't like condenser mics for podcasts or for voice in general. Condenser mics are more accurate. They pick up every little detail, and that actually isn't what you want. You want to use a large coil diaphragm mic. That's what I use right now. What a lot of radio stations use for several reasons. One, it's not as accurate. It doesn't pick up every possible sound. That's a good thing. You don't want to hear a pin drop. You just want to hear the voice. So the problem with condenser mics is you hear everything. In fact, you notice, when they make a record, when Tay-Tay's in the studio, she's using a very fancy, probably a Neumann condenser mic, but she's also in a soundproof booth. And when you...
I'm going to be in a bedroom with maybe a mattress.
Yeah. So, unless you want to build a soundproof booth, I wouldn't get a condenser mic. That's why I like the SM58. It's very forgiving. It's used in nightclubs by punk bands, which gives you some idea.
Nice.
But it's also a large coil diaphragm. And what's nice about that is a couple of nice things. One, it has what we call the proximity effect. As you get closer, you get bassier. For a male voice, that's great. Actually, for a female voice, that's good too. It's also good for what we call off-axis noise elimination. So when you're not talking right into the mic, you can barely be heard. That's a good thing. That's a really good thing, especially if you have 4 people sitting around a table in your bedroom. Now, let's talk about the mixer. I have a recommendation I love.
Okay, hit me with it.
It's from Behringer, Behringer,
Yep.
and it's called the X-Air. And what it does exactly what you want. Now, you're going to have to get we have the little X-Air that we use, which has 8 microphone inputs. But it doesn't do the one thing you said you wanted, which is have each microphone recorded separately.
Multi-channel editing. Yeah. And that's why I was looking at the Scarlett 18i8 because
Scarletts are excellent.
Live.
Nothing wrong with that. Okay. But the X-Air 18, you might price check that. And this has one other thing that I really, really like. It has, they used to call it, I don't know, they had to stop because it was a brand name. It has, let's put it this way, it has auto mixing. It used to be called Dugan, right? Yeah, but Mr. Dugan didn't like that. He said, you can't call it Dugan if it's not me. So it's auto ducking. What happens is it automatically, very quickly, and I think reliably mixes by turning up the voice that's talking and turning down the voices that aren't, eliminating noise. In a way, that's probably why you want the separate channels. That's going to help. So I would look at the X-Air 18 from Behringer. It's a really nice device, and it's not expensive. And you can control it with an iPad or a computer. It has software. You can remote control it. Lots of nice features. It's a real good mixer with very good mic preamps. That's another thing we're looking for. So if you do get a better mic down the road, this would be a good choice. Leo Laporte, the tech guy.
So 599.
Say again?
600 for the 18.
600 for the 18. But and that's why I would say, the AT2040 is fine, but I don't think you need.
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
What price range do you expect that the SM?
The SM58's about $150. It's cheap.
Okay.
If you want to spend a little more, you could use the mics I use, which I love, which are the Heil PR40s. Those are about twice as much, $350.
Okay, yeah, no. Start small. With one more quick question.
Sure.
Also, I want to have like a sound effect, like the little, the sounds in the sky, like boom, shakalaka, and crazy little effects.
This is a really cool device called the Stream Deck from Elgato Systems. Okay. And this plugs in via USB port to your computer. It has 15 buttons on it. And it can do a lot of different things. It's for streaming video, guys, but one of the things it can do is playback audio sound effects. So you could have 15 sound effects associated with one to each of these buttons. And just press it and it plays back. Boom shakalaka. So if you want to do it live, huh?
And that'll be its own channel, like as well on the output.
Sure. Depends how you mix it. You could have a laptop going into the Behringer. The Behringer will take laptop inputs and have that be just your sound effects machine. Sure.
Awesome. I really, really appreciate your help. Thank you.
Yeah. What's your
email once we get going?
If you're going to do Boom Shakalaka, it's probably a sports podcast, right?
No, I mean honestly, it's called Narwhal.
What is it? Narwhal?
Narwhal. Yeah. N, like the letter N. A room with the fool. And it's just going to be. I'll send it to you. It's hard to describe. I mean, I'm a huge fan of KFI AM 640. All the shows.
With a fool.
And I've been thinking about doing a podcast for a couple of years, and it's loosely based around marketing ideas, and it's going to be me and a lifelong friend in the booth.
Please send me a note when you do it. I'd love to know more about it.
I'd love to. Thank you so much.
It's fun, isn't that? I mean, you're basically doing a radio show. Without having to get anybody at KFI to say okay to it. You can have it's a niche audience, or you can have a general audience. I mean, you get to do your own thing.
I'm doing it for pure passion. I'm doing it for pure passion. If one person listens or 1,000.
Right on.
So.
Right on.
Yeah. Then you guys, like I said, you guys are a big inspiration. It seems like when all you guys are doing your shows, it just seems like homies in the booth, You guys are all
that's a good thing to keep in mind, because that's really what a podcast is genuine, real, right?
Awesome.
That's the hardest thing to do. When you first start in radio, and it took me about 15 years, you say, well, I'm in radio. I'm going to have to talk like a radio announcer now. And you get kind of phony and not real. And it took me a long time. I was just talking the other day to somebody, and I said what turned me around was get to the point where I didn't give a damn. Because I was doing a TV show, and like a longtime broadcaster told me, you're too smile. Because I was always like, hi, how are you? Good to see you. And
really cold.
Yeah, and so I decided, screw it. I'm going to act like you listen to me. I don't have to, I don't have to reach out to you. I don't have to go get you. You listen to me. And that actually worked. That's when my career took off. So
that's awesome. Bye. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, Adam Carolla's a good. Chumley's in the chat room saying, like Adam Carolla. Yeah, he's a good.
He's everywhere.
He's a good example. He's done very well. He's like, I don't care if you listen. You don't have to listen to me. Screw you.
Yeah.
And it works for him, because what you hate, you don't want somebody ingratiating who's saying, please listen to me. I'm a nice guy. I don't want to listen. You don't want that. You want somebody to say, I don't care if you listen.
Yeah, I mean, our first show topic, loosely when I say marketing, is black lights. What happened to black lights?
Whatever happened to those?
Black lights are awesome. They were everywhere. Or trapper keepers.
Trapper keepers.
These are game changers.
That's nice. That's nice.
My time.
That's nice. Have fun.
And Narwhal, so it's Narwhal, Any Room with a Fool, but it's also like,
I love the title. Any Room with a Fool. Hey, have a great day.
Yeah, thank you,
Good
Leo.
luck.